I would train around the world at different kickboxing gyms and whatever, and kickboxing is more my thing. Um, and it like every time I go there, I've got to. I look pretty athletic, right? But for those who know me, I'm pretty just reserved about that. I don't like really factor in. I've always been athletic since I was like 15 before training the Navy, so it's like it's normal to me. But to them, it's like, oh, he's got an ego, something to prove. And I'm like, I go in there and I'm like super reserved. I'm polite as hell, and I'm like, I'm even like, I'm humble to them at their skill set. And every fucking time, almost every single gym with their instructor, I've got to go through this first session of beat me up a bit and have some sort of dick measuring competition. And I'm like, I'm not competing here, buddy. I just want to do technique. I want to do this. And they will put me through my paces. They're like, to show how unfit I am or to show how unskilled I am. I'm like, hey man, if I was fit and skilled at this, I wouldn't fucking be here. I'd just be at home training.
Yeah.
Wouldn't seek an instructor. So I think it's common across all. It's actually more like the rule rather than the it's the rule.
The exception, yeah. It's a lot of ego in combat. A lot of ego in combat sports, and I find like I teach jiu-jitsu these days, and when guys come in, I had a conversation with a guy the other day. He came in, and I could tell that he was a bit unfit. He hadn't trained in a long time. He was wearing an old uniform, so I could tell that he'd done it before. And I wrestled with him for a round, and his breathing was heavy. And I could smell that he was a smoker, so he's having a difficult time keeping up. And instead of going really hard with him, I was just telling him, like, hey, man, just breathe. And I'd let him have a position. And then after the class, we were talking. Turns out this guy had spent time in jail. He's come from a really difficult background. He spent 4 years addicted to alcohol and drugs, and now he's trying to get his life back. And he just opened up to me, and I was like, man, people come to these gyms because they're trying to better themselves. And if every time they come, we beat them up and we make them feel like we're the man, right? Because maybe I'm the black belt on the mats, but fuck, you're a SAS guy on a battlefield. So who's really, you know what I mean? There's no use in a dick measuring contest, because if you judge a fish's ability to climb a tree, like you can't do that. Everyone's got different backgrounds and different skill sets.